I woke up this morning thinking about a recipe that Granny used to make when I was a girl during the holidays. And as I laid in the bed before I got up thinking about it, I was trying to remember. It seemed like that she'd give me the little molds that the candy went in. So I couldn't hardly wait to get up and get dressed and cook breakfast and get all that out of the way and then climb through my cabinets and see if I could find them. So I did find the ones, and I remembered even then that the ones that she'd given me were too in poor shape to use. But I love looking at I'll show you the little box there. She kept them. She must have ordered them, you know, from somewhere, well, Savannah Sugar Refinery, it says, Savannah, Georgia. But Mrs. Jerry Wilson, Route 1, Brasstown. That was back in the days when I was young. It was just Route 1. There was no street address or anything like that, and that was what our address was back in those days. But they were I remember her making them, and she's cut some of them out of the little plastic thing just to make it easier. I'm afraid they're too fragile for me to try to use for the Christmas candy. But there's, you know, there was a tree, there was Santa, there was bells, there was a turkey even for Thanksgiving, or it could be for Christmas, I guess. Of course, there was a snowman. There was a stocking, a little stocking, and I think that was all of them. And it's just a simple mint, like a mint recipe, using powdered sugar and Caro syrup. It's really easy to make. But I remember I loved to help Granny make them when I was little because we would use food coloring to make them different colors. So, you know, just made it more exciting. Whether we make the Christmas tree one green and the bell one, you know, you could make it red, yellow, whatever color you wanted. And of course the turkey, maybe brown for it. So I woke up thinking about them and thought, I know that they're probably way too fragile for me to use. I'll probably break them the other way. But on the other hand, you think, but what am I going to do with those? I've kept them all these years I've been married. I knew where they were at way back in the top of my cabinets. Anyway, so as I was thinking about them, I thought, I wonder if I've ever made that candy, and I don't think I have. If I have, it's been so many years I don't remember it. But I did think that one year I tried to buy molds because I knew those were too fragile. So I found some up there. Now the ones I found were, one little thing of them was for Easter, had Easter eggs and bunnies and ducks and stuff like that. I don't ever remember using those. They were great, they were bigger, larger ones, probably for a different type of candy. And then I found one that was, and I really don't ever remember this, I found one that was like little bugs, like lizards and ladybugs and those kind of things. Now I can see why I would have bought that all those years ago, because Corey and Katie loved creepy crawly things like that. One time we had their bathroom decorated in things like that, ladybugs and frogs and lizards. But I don't ever remember using it either. And then I did find one with bells. And then after I got it out and started looking at it, I thought, I wonder if that was supposed to be Christmas bells or wedding bells. I don't know. I guess it could be either one. But I guess I'm going to use it, and I'm going to try to make this. Now, the recipe is super simple, but I don't have all the correct ingredients, I don't think. But I'm just going to try to make it anyway and see what happens. I knew where I would find the recipe. This is one of the little books Granny got me when I first got married, and it's just a little notebook where she's handwritten recipes. Not all her recipes, but a lot of the ones she used, and she gave them to me. Since then, I've wrote in them, wrote some of them on the pages where there wasn't one. I was trying to find one right there. It says cheesecake. That's my writing. That's where I called Granny and said, how do you make your no-bake cheesecake? Many years ago, and she told me, and I wrote it in here. Anyway, I knew this is where I'd find the recipe. So Granny says Christmas mints, and I'm sure she got this from someone in our community, maybe somebody at church or something like that. 1 box of powdered sugar. I didn't have a box of powdered sugar, but I think a box is 16 ounces, so I've got 16 ounces of powdered sugar. 1/3 cup butter. I did have that. 1/2 cup light corn syrup. I've got that. Although now that I look at that, I wonder if I did 1/2 cup or a 1/3 of a cup as I poured it out. I did 1/3 of a cup, so I'm going to have to fix that. So let me go back though and tell you what's right. I've already messed mine up. But 1 box of powdered sugar, 1/3 cup butter, 1/2 cup light corn syrup, 2 teaspoons flavoring, and she's got peppermint or orange. Now I have some orange flavoring. I have orange extract up there. I don't have any peppermint. I used to have some, but I've lost it, or used it all, not lost it probably. But I do have some peppermint oil, some edible like that I used to make hard rock candy, so I'm going to use that. And one of the main reasons I could use the orange, even though I'm going to do Christmas bells, and I think of peppermint more with Christmas than orange. well, I don't know. Oranges are about Christmas. I've got them right here. Anyway, the reason I'm going to go with the peppermint is Corey, with her, she's had slight morning sickness, not too bad, but one of the things that helps her is peppermint. So I thought, well, this might be, I don't know if she'll eat the candy or not, but if she did, the peppermint flavor might help her. Then you need 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. I had that. And then you need food coloring. Granny's got like 5 drops of yellow, 1 drop of red for orange flavoring if you're going to do the orange. And then she's got other colors for whatever you're doing. But it says combine half the sifted powdered sugar, butter, and corn syrup in a large saucepan. Cook mixture, stirring constantly until it comes to a full rolling boil. Stir in remaining powdered sugar, vanilla, peppermint flavoring. Let's see, you got to turn it over, and food coloring. Remove from heat and stir until mixture is cool enough to handle. Pour onto wax paper and knead until mixture is smooth. Press into molds and let set until they'll hold the shapes, 3 to 5 minutes. Pop out of the molds onto wax paper until firm enough to store. Store in airtight containers. Makes about 50 candies. I guess that would depend on the size of your molds too. Separate candy in different bowls to make different colors: red, green, and brown and white. Those were those colors that I remembered. So I guess now I'm just going to try it and see what happens. It may be a total flop, but if it's good, it'll certainly be that memory that I was thinking about with Granny this morning. Certainly make me happy if I pull this off. Put my butter in. I have my pan a little too hot. I better turn it down. Put the corn syrup in. Ooh, I did have it hot. And it said half of the powdered sugar. It's about half. Let me stir that up. Okay, I think we're at a full rolling boil, so we can pour in the rest of the stuff. Put in the rest of the powdered sugar. I'm always afraid to put it all because I didn't sift mine. Maybe I'll put almost all of it. And the vanilla. And I need to put the peppermint. Instead of putting the 2 teaspoons like the recipe calls for if you were using peppermint or orange extract, since I'm using peppermint oil, I think I'm gonna put a half of a teaspoon and see. The oil is so much stronger. I don't know, maybe I should put the rest of the stuff. It seems awfully thin. Okay. There's a 1/4 and a 1/4. I'm going to put the rest of the powdered sugar. We have to add more powdered sugar. I'm just going to turn it off though. It says the next step is to turn it off and let it cool until you can handle it. So we'll turn it off and let it cool and see if it thickens up. And just as I was cleaning up, I realized I didn't put no food coloring in it. I'm not going to have red bells. I'm just going to have white bells, which might not be too bad. Maybe I'll just put a few. Ooh, I may have put too much. May not be bad to have white ones, but thinking about Christmas, it'd be better if they were red. What I should have done was divide part of it and have red and white. Oh well. We're going to have red ones. At least I remembered it. As I was cleaning up, I seen the food coloring laying there and thought, wait a minute. I did not add anything to it. Seems like it's thickening up some, so maybe it's going to be pliable enough for me to make the candy. Okay. It's more of a pink than a red. I wonder if I should add more, maybe a little bit more. That made it a darker red. I can really smell the peppermint, so I think the peppermint will be good. Okay, now I'm going to let it cool. Okay, I've been working on my kefir water there, so let's see. I'm going to put out a little bit more powdered sugar. I don't know if I need it. What I need is Granny to tell me what I'm doing wrong. But we're going to pour it all out here, see if it's cool enough for me to work with. I think it's not all of it, but I'm going to start with that. I wonder if I oiled my hands. I got out some avocado oil because I can't remember if Granny put oil in the little molds, but it seems like she did. I don't know, maybe I'll try one without it and then see. It's definitely cool enough to need. I guess we'll just put one in and see what happens. And Granny taught me that too. There's lots of times, whether it was jelly or fudge or something like this, that Granny scraped it all back up in the pan and cooked it a little bit more and tried it again. So I don't think I need to cook this anymore, but I might need to add more powdered sugar if it's too soft. Now, Granny's directions didn't say to do that though. That's just me. Okay, let me get the white pushed in. I'm gonna see if we can try it and see what happens. You could wear gloves to do this, especially if you were feeding other people, but it's just us, and I've washed my hands really good. But surely if you're worried about that, get you some gloves, and especially if you're feeding a big crowd or something. Okay, I'm gonna see. Let's just see. It's like playing with Play-Doh almost. I don't even know how much it would take to put in one. I think that's too much though. It is. Let's see. Seems like I remember Granny putting them in the refrigerator or the freezer now too, that I think about it. One. I guess let's do another one. Seems really kind of oily, probably because I used that oil instead of the extract. So, okay, maybe I'll do one more, and then I'm going to put it, I am going to do Granny's trick of putting it in the freezer just to see, and then I'll work on getting the rest of that out of the pan. If nothing else, I want them to be in the molds though, but I could roll them up in little balls and dip them in powdered sugar, and they'd still be like mints. But well, maybe I'll do one more. It's kind of fun. I can see why I liked to do it when I was a girl. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands again. Okay, I'm gonna pop these in the freezer just for a few minutes, and I'm gonna work on getting the rest of that out of the pan, and then I'll show you if this worked or not. Okay, that did not work, so now I'm gonna try putting some oil in them and see if that makes any difference with it popping out. I couldn't get them out. They got hard. They're hard. They just, when they come out, they didn't look much like a bell would look. So let's try again. Maybe way too much. Maybe I'm putting too much in them too. Might be. Maybe I'll just put the little bitty. Makes me so tempted to use one of the old ones. Maybe I will. I mean, put me some oil down in there and just use one of the Frosties here and see what happens. Okay, now I'm gonna wait a few minutes. I'm gonna wash my hands and work on my kefir a little bit more and just let those sit. Oh, this is not getting real stiff. Maybe I didn't have enough powdered sugar. But the ones, this was the ones I got out, they did get pretty hard. Maybe I'm not being patient. Okay. Let's let those sit for a minute and see what happens. Okay, cleaned up a little bit. Let's see if anything, maybe I'm not letting them cool enough though. I don't know. No, it's not going to work either. They are cooled, but then when you start getting them out, I wonder if it's, I think it's the peppermint oil, because they're so oily. I wonder if that's it. Let's try, see if we get this one out of this little guy. You know, maybe it's my molds, because that's not perfect, but that's frosty. So maybe I'm using the wrong kind of molds. Interesting. Okay, now I'm going to call that a success. I'm going to put those to the side, and I think I'm going to try to use these. There's another frosty. If they come apart, they'll just come apart. Let's see. Oh, that one's really broke. I could try these. So fragile. Now, I wonder if I could put some sprinkle some powdered sugar in them. I don't know if that would help or hurt. If that would help them come out. I was using the oil, but it's so oily already. I'm even going to do the turkeys. We'll just see if. That one was all to pieces. I don't guess I should use it. Okay. Oh, my stuff's getting hard on me. I better hurry it up if I'm going to do this. Okay. I don't know if that's too much. It's not as sharp as I remember them when I was little, but it's because I know it's that oil. Because look how oily. It's that, because I didn't have extract, I had oil. So I know that's what my problem is. Okay. Now, for the rest of them, it's that oil. I mean, can you believe that? That's how oily. It's because I used that peppermint oil. I should have called Granny and asked her, or I should have just used the orange, even though I was doing this for Corey. Now I wonder if I could just, they're so oily I can't even roll them up. It's hilarious. I was going to try to roll them and then roll them in some powdered sugar and see what that did. Okay, maybe. That's not bad. Maybe. There's one. I don't have much left. Well, if those come out of the things, right? Maybe we'll, before I quit, we'll see if, before I stop the video, we'll see if we can call Granny and ask her, see what she remembers about them. Another thing about the oil, using it, I think it's going to be so strong. It's going to have to be somebody that needs some peppermint to, because this is, I can smell it. I should have put a quarter of a teaspoon instead of, well, I should have had peppermint extract, but other than that, I should have used a fourth instead of a half. Matt just come in. I'll have to make him come in here and taste one. I don't know though, he may not go for the peppermint. I'm going to. They look pretty, the little ones with powdered sugar. I have no clue about what they're going to taste like, but my hands are so oily I can't even get them in a ball. Okay. Now, let me wash my hands again. Okay, let's see if we can, I'm going to taste one of them, but while those are cooling, we'll see if we can call Granny.
Who you calling?
Granny.
Ask her how she did it?
I know how she did it. I didn't have the right ingredients. Katie's asking me why I'm failing in here.
I didn't say that. I don't say you failing.
I did, but it's okay. Hey, what you doing?
I'm just going to hang around while Granny takes her shower.
What? Okay, I was just calling to talk to her, so I'll call back.
Well, she's shower.
Okay. All right. Granny's phone's messed up. You can hear it. Hey, what you doing?
Fixing to take a shower.
Okay. I was going to ask you about, remember those molds that you used to make when I was little at Christmas? You remember there was like a Santa Claus, the little white molds, and we made mint candy like in them?
Yeah.
Where did you get that recipe?
I got it off Dick Crystal sugar.
Like the powdered sugar?
Oh, regular.
Oh, regular sugar. How did you know how? Okay.
Now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it seemed like I remember it said it still.
Okay. How did you, and that's where you found where you could order the little molds? Granny's phone. Can you still hear me?
Have I still got them?
No, I've got them. Do you remember where you, how did you know how to order them?
Oh, it was from the sugar. I think it was from a box of sugar I bought.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was powdered sugar. I think it was regular sugar.
Okay.
The brand name seemed like Dixie.
Okay. Well, I was trying to make them this morning, but I didn't have all the right stuff, and mine ain't really doing that great.
What did you put in them?
Well, I didn't have peppermint extract, so I used peppermint oil, and I think it made them too oily, and I can't get them to set up good.
Oh, I got any peppermint. I thought it.
No, it's okay. I knew you might have some, but I just thought this would work. Anyway, I'll let you...
Yeah, I used to love to make it candy.
I know. They turned out so pretty when you made them. Okay, I'll let you go.
Well, I was fixing to take a shower, and I wanted to go over to school and work tonight.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Granny's phone is terrible. You hear that? It's because it's raining outside. Every time it rains, her phone is like that. And I'm sure you're going to say, well, why don't you get it fixed? We've tried and we've tried and we've tried. And in our little area here of Western North Carolina, for a long time we had a company named Verizon, I'm sure you're familiar with it, that did like, you know, landlines. That's what we had when I was growing up. And I don't know, it's before Pap died, so it's been probably 10 years ago now. They sold out to a company called Frontier. And once Frontier took over, they basically just told Pap, we're never going to fix it. We're not going to fix it. You just have to deal with it. Said that's like one of the oldest lines that in that area in the county, and it's just too expensive. We're never going to fix it. So we call, and they'll send somebody out to look at it, and then it'll quit raining and it clears up. So anyway, that's why her phone's like that. So I hope you could hear her. She was saying that she got this recipe off of, she thought it was Dixie sugar, and that she ordered the little trays, little molds from there too. That's where she got them. Now, as I've been sitting here talking to Granny, I've noticed all my little balls that I made, look, they've flattened out by themselves. So I know it's that oil that's just making it be too flimsy to actually mold up. I wonder if we can get this one out. Ooh, maybe. Okay. That's kind of pretty. It's another snowman. I maybe shouldn't have put that powdered sugar in there though, but that one come out okay. Let's see what this one looks like. I'm using my big kebab here. I use this. Matt loves to make us kebabs on the grill, and I like to use these every time I need something pointy. That was another snowman. So oily. Let's see what this is. Oh, that one popped out pretty good. Oh, it's a Santa. That's probably the prettiest one so far. I don't know if you can see it. I don't have Corey with me today to make sure that the camera is showing it, but that's probably the prettiest one so far. Let's see. And I guess the best thing is, so far, these little molds have not crumbled. That one's pretty. That's a tree. Oops, I said that, and then there come a piece of the mold off with me. That one was a little tree. Again, so oily. And I should have known better. Shouldn't have used that oil. Let's see what this one is. That was the bell. That one's really pretty too. Oh, I think this is going to be a Tom Turkey here. Let's see. Yeah, you can't really see because of the red. Maybe. I don't like it as good as the others. Let's see about the other one. Another Tom Turkey. Yeah, they're not as pretty as the Christmas ones. They would be if I used brown, and if I hadn't used peppermint oil like a dummy. Oh, this one's kind of stuck. That was another bell. Well, now I know I've got the wrong kind of molds as far as those bells. And I need to, oh, that's a pretty one too. That's a Santa. Turned out okay. While they're sitting here though, they may do like my other ones and just go. So I have to gently wash those now that I've got them dirty. Now let's see if we can get these bells out, and then I'll quit with this. No, they're not going to come out. Definitely the wrong kind of mold. Yeah, I can't even get that one out. Okay, now let me wash my hands one more time. And then I'm going to have to taste one of these. I'm going to taste one of the little powdered sugar ones. It's not bad. It's peppermint. It don't have the texture though that I remember. It's way chewier. Instead of just, you know, mints that kind of melt in your mouth. It's got a good flavor, but it's not what I remember from childhood. Those were more like a firmness, and then you bite. You can bite. It's not chewy. You can just bite it, and it would just melt in your mouth. This is definitely not that. But it does have a good flavor. Just really chewy. Okay. Now I'm going to get me a little plate and put them on here. Okay. At least it turned out to be a little pretty plate. So it's kind of an epic fail as far as recreating my memory of what Granny made when I was little. But I'm still glad I made them. I'm going to make them again. I'm wondering if I can find... I'll have to look and see if I can find this kind of mold, because that other kind definitely didn't work. And then I need to buy me some peppermint extract, or use my orange and make orange ones. But I'm still glad that I tried to make them, and glad that you all got to hear from Granny. She's been doing pretty good. She's just still really, really tired and sleeping a lot. And, you know, we go back, by the time, let's see, by the time you watch this, we will already have went back for her scan to see how the treatments went, but we won't know until the following week probably, so I won't have any news. Even by the time you see this video, I won't have any news about it. Anyway, it was nice to relive my Christmas memories about the little stockings and things. And isn't it funny how those memories will come to you? Like, I don't know why, this morning I just woke up thinking about it, thinking about those little mints and how when they come out of the molds, how pretty they looked. Mine don't look that pretty. But funny how those memories will come back to you. Also funny how, if you're like me, a lot of the things I cook I think are not as good as what Granny cooks, even though I do them exactly like what she says. I didn't do exactly like what she said on this one. But reminds me always, one of my cousins one time, she told me, she was talking about how well her mother-in-law was such a good cook, and about how that she just could cook anything. And she said, even though I've been married a long time, I just can't cook like her. And she said, I mean, I swear, the woman could boil water and it would taste good. And I think those kind of cooking skills really comes from people, whether it's men or women, doesn't matter, that have cooked a long time for their family. I think that's where those wonderful tastes come in, and it somehow does seem like it's elusive to try to recreate what they do. As always, I'm glad you stopped by to visit with me today, and I'm always happy when you drop by to help me celebrate Appalachia, which for me is a whole lot of memories and nostalgia and cooking foodways from when I was a child.